Our civil rights speech is about bringing light to unknown civil rights martyrs. By doing this, we can reflect on their sacrifices for wanting a better future for America. These people were teachers, ministers, children, and activists who believed that freedom is worth dying for. Their sacrifices exposed the brutality of racism to the world and helped move the conscience of the nation. We are going to list 20 civil rights martyrs and then go in depth on 2 of them. Some of these people, like Emmett Till, are well known, and others you might be hearing for the first time.
Emmett Till was a 14-year-old that was murdered for just talking to a white woman.
James Chaney, he was killed by the KKK.
Eddie Mae Collins and Denise McNair were 2 of many that died in a Baptist church bombing.
Andrew Goodman, who was killed along with James Chaney by the KKK.
Carlos Robinson, he died in a separate church bombing.
Michael Schwerner, who was also killed by the KKK.
Virgil Ware was a 13-year-old shot by white teens.
Jonathan Daniels, who was a white person shot by a cop while shooting a young black woman.
William Moore, he was shot while just protesting alone.
Jimmy Lee Jackson, who was shot by a state trooper.
Bruce Cloneler was a minister that was brutally run over.
Sam Young Jr., who's a college student in Alabama.
Henry D., he was killed by the KKK.
Lemuel Penn, who was a U.S. Army member killed by the KKK.
Cynthia Wesley also died in the church bombing.
Ben White, who was a farmer that was also killed by the KKK.
Charles Eddie Moore was also killed by the KKK.
And then Clarence Triggs, who was killed in Louisiana during a civil rights meeting.
And all these are according to National Geographic.
And all mine are according to History.com.
Lola Liuzzo was a white woman from Detroit who became deeply moved by the civil rights struggle after witnessing the brutal images of Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. Leaving her husband and 5 children in Michigan, she drove down to Alabama to help transport marchers and supplies during the Selma to Montgomery March led by MLK on March 25, 1965. After a successful march, Liuzzo was driving a fellow activist, Leroy Morton, a black teenager, when her car was followed and shot at by the KKK members. She was killed, and her death highlights the danger fueled by civil rights workers and the deep racial hatred in the South. Liuzzo's courage continues to represent the moral unity of the movement, showing that the fight for justice transcended race and religion. And this is according to SPLC.
This is also according to SPLC. Another activist was Medgar Evers, who was a World War II veteran who returned home, determined to fight the racial injustices he had seen so clearly in the segregated South. As the NAACP's first field secretary in Mississippi, he organized boycotts, investigated racial violence, and worked treacherously to secure voting rights for black citizens. Evers was known for his calm leadership and willingness to face danger head-on in one of the most hostile states for civil rights work. His activism made him a constant target for white supremacists. On June 12, 1963, he was shot in the back in his driveway as he returned to his wife and kids. His death shocked the world and galvanized the movement. It took 30 years for his killer to be convicted. Medgar Evers became a symbol of perseverance and justice, and his martyrdom helped fuel the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
And then our discussion questions are, which martyr stood out to you the most? Were there people you've never heard of before this? Why do you think death had such a powerful impact on public opinion? And in what ways can remembering these people help build a more compassionate society today?